Hey everyone, Reverend Dominic here. Good to see you again. It is May 6th, Wednesday, and last week I did a video posting about Protestant prayer beads as a devotional practice, a way of praying to help with anxiety. And when I did that recording, I did a kind of a walk around my office here, and I in the course of things, pointed out a couple of labyrinths that I have here in my office, and I got some feedback that I should do a segment, a video posting about labyrinths as a spiritual tool as well. So I thought I'd do that today because we can all use all the help we can get, I think, with our devotional life, our prayer life these days. One of the cool things about labyrinths is that they are absolutely ancient. And by that I mean thousands of years old. In fact, no one is sure where they originated. They certainly predate modern history. And they're cross-cultural, too. That is, that they can be found on pretty much every continent. That, to me at least, means that they are innate to us as human beings. There's really something mystical about them from that standpoint alone. Now, a labyrinth is a way of making prayer tangible, or if you're walking one, physical. It's a journey. A labyrinth is a journey. It's a journey from the physical to the spiritual and back again. Now, labyrinths are different than mazes. Mazes have a lot of choices to make as you get into them, which path to take. On a labyrinth, there are no false paths. There's only one way in and one way out. And you walk it as a contemplative, prayerful practice. There's a lot of different kinds of labyrinths, but you're really going to find two main ones, or more popular ones. And one of those looks like this. This is called a Cretan Labyrinth. This is certainly pre-Christian, although it's used in a lot of Christian circles because you'll see here there's a cross right there. But like other labyrinths, again, there's one way in, one way out. And you walk it back and forth until you reach the center and then walk your way back out again. It's a Cretan labyrinth. There are different, larger ones, smaller ones, but that's the typical circular pattern of a Cretan labyrinth. This is one that you might find a little bit more familiar if you have any contact with labyrinths, and that's this one. This is a Chart labyrinth. This is the one that's like behind me on this finger labyrinth here. In the quilt that I pointed out last time. This is what's on the floor of the Fellowship Hall of Highlands Congregational Church, this pattern. It's called a Chart labyrinth because there's a huge one on the stone floor of Chartres Cathedral in France. And again, it's ancient. Nobody knows where this pattern came from, which I think is pretty neat, actually. With this, you will, though, see a cross. There's a cruciform pattern here. It's an interesting pattern because there are an equal number of right and left turns as you walk this. And it's kind of it's a metaphor for life in a lot of ways. Because as you walk this, you're walking from the outside to the middle, this interior section here. And as you make that journey, there are points where you feel like you're getting awfully close, you're almost there, and then the path shoots you back out to the outside, and you're back out to the periphery again. There's a metaphor to contemplate in that. It's also metaphorical if you're walking this with other people too, because sometimes people will pass you because you're going slower than they are, or you will pass them because they're going slower than you are. So you have to step aside, or they step aside. So there's some metaphors to think about there as well. Labyrinths are a threefold path. That is, there's the pathway in, which is a path of purging. That is, you purge from you let go of the things that are inhibiting your connection to God in your life, the things that are stressing you or worrying you. You do your best to let go of those. And then the second path or part of the journey is the center. When you make your way all the way through and you're in the center, that's a place of receptivity. That's a place where you invite God in, and what does God have to offer to me today? What are the gifts that what's God trying to tell me right now? What am I being given here? And then the third path is the path out. Again, it's the same path, no false choices. The pathway out is a path of integration. That is, how do you integrate what you received in the middle into who you are, so that when you exit the labyrinth, there's transformation in who you are. You've grown in some way, you've gained something, you're different somehow because of that experience. So there are walking labyrinths, there are finger labyrinths like this one on the wall. You can draw them. Some people draw them as a contemplative prayerful practice. That's easier to do a little bit with the Cretan Labyrinth than the Chart Labyrinth. This is a little bit simpler pattern, and there are simpler ones of this too, smaller ones that are easier to draw. If you go onto YouTube, you'll find some examples of how to draw a Cretan Labyrinth very simply. And people do that as kind of a contemplative practice too, just drawing them along. So something to explore. A lot of great books out there about this, a lot of great websites about this. It's a great spiritual practice, a great contemplative tool, and I commend it to you. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best.